it's me, Super Mario. Wahoo! And Luigi too. Ho ho! And Wario, have a rotten day. Yahoo! And well, Luigi, everybody did but me. And baby Luigi. And baby Mario. Let's go! Yahoo! Hello!
Okay, you're covering all of them straight off the bat. Yeah, this is
You don't
great.
quite get entrance like that with anyone else.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit here?
Yeah, it's all yours.
Wherever you
It's
like.
all
This is the
yours.
biggest armchair I've ever had.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thrilled to be here in Brussels. I love Brussels.
Yeah?
I hear you have chocolate.
There's rumors.
Yes.
They keep it secret.
Yes, we're going to every chocolate shop we can possibly find.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Great city, great country.
Yeah.
I used to live very close to here, and then now live a little bit on the other side here. But life is great country.
Do you have European roots then?
Yes, my father was born in Paris. Emigrated to America in 1927, I think.
Oh wow.
And then, I was first generation American. Lived in Spain, France, England, France, and the Netherlands.
Oh wow. You get all over.
Yeah, I spent like 6 years there.
Did you pick up a lot of languages?
Spanish, French, and a little bit of Italian, but I tell
wow.
you, no Dutch, no Flemish whatsoever. None. I mean, it's so funny. I actually came to Belgium once and did some interviews, and in this one TV station, I went into this through the French security, did my interviews in French, and then exited, went around to the other side of the building, and went through the security there, and did the Flemish side. and it was down the same corridor.
Yeah.
It was like this. Here we are. So
Give you a platform game to play in real life.
Yeah.
Just up and down.
There I go. Here we
There's
go.
a pipe that just says sound.
Yippee.
Yeah, I know. They don't normally do that, but they did it just for you.
And complete with music. You know, I am very grateful to this presenter, the producer, for bringing me out here. But I'm particularly grateful to you, and of course Nintendo, but to you for enjoying the games. Your love for the game is what gives me the chance to come out here. So thank you so much for playing my game. Really, it's great.
But I mean, it's incredible because it's one of the most iconic voices in the world. And
One of?
could be the most. I'm trying to think of any more. It could be though. It could really.
It could be. It could
it's
be.
incredible. What was the first game you voiced?
I started with a real-time animation system. I crashed an audition for the Italian plumber from Brooklyn.
This is a famous story. 'Cause
Yeah.
the way people tell it, because it's a thing that it's on the internet all the time now.
It's on the internet all the time.
Yeah, I've seen so many
Yeah.
versions of Charles, the voice of Super Mario, nearly
Yeah.
wasn't the voice of Super Mario. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. It's
Is
true.
it? Did-
Yeah, I just crashed the audition. I walked in, they said Italian plumber from Brooklyn, and instead of going, hey, how you doing? I'm a Mario, you know? And instead of saying, the direction was, don't stop until you run out of things to say. So I never stopped. 34 years later, I'm still
This is still the audition.
Yeah, I'm still the audition. I'll let you know if I get the part. But I had never heard of Mario, had never heard of Nintendo, no idea. But I take direction. And when someone says to me, don't stop until you run out of things to say, I don't stop. And every other actor would do like, hey, my name's Mario, I'm a plumber from Brooklyn, something like that. And as soon as they broke character, that was their audition.
Oh, wow.
So I just never stopped.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you went in with that, hey, I'm Mario, and then how did
No,
it
I
go
didn't at all. No, he said Italian plumber from Brooklyn, and for a real-time animation system, which had never been done before, and he said, so make up a voice, make up a video game, talk about anything you want, just don't stop, just keep going, because we don't have no idea if this system is going to work, but I'm not going to pay you to sit there all day drinking coffee, so you just do your thing,
It was an expo type thing, was it, for an expo?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
consumer electronics show for Nintendo. And it was a real-time animation system. Don James had been wandering around an electronics show and saw this company that was doing real-time animation and thought, hey, maybe we should do Mario in real time. And so they did. And that was what I was auditioning for, but I had no idea who it was. It never had a voice before.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I'm going to do something live all day, I don't want to be like, hey, get out of my face. What if they're children? I had no idea of anything. So I thought, well, I had done Gremio in Taming of the Shrew, a nice Italian guy, but he's an old man, you know? And I thought, well, I'll make him younger, and I'll just talk about food, because I don't know anything about video games except waka, 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 you know? So I just started talking about food, and then I started inventing food because I ran out of pasta, you know? Let's make a pizza pie together. And then we're gonna make the pizza, I chase you with the pizza, and if I catch you with the pizza, you gotta make a pizza and chase me with the pizza. And I thought he'd say stop, but he never says stop. So I just went through everything. Then I was, and then we're gonna make a rasta totolotello. This is great pasta I just invented. You know, I chase you with the rasta totolotello, catch you with the rasta totolotello, then you gotta catch me with the rasta totolotello. You know, and I just went on and on and on until I heard, stop talking. Cut. There's no more tape. Thank you. We'll be in touch. Which I thought, to me, that's like the end, you know? But it was the beginning of 33 years of joy and happiness. I think 168 or 169 games.
Gonna ask, do you know? Yeah. What's the weirdest game?
They were all great, you know. They were all great. You know, the Mario Strikers, the football game, the European football game, was that was interesting, because then what we were doing, like, you know, much more aggressive, you know, it was like, yeah, you know, it was like, oh, that's really fun, you know, that was enjoyable. And I love the cat game, you know, the 3D world, you know. I was at E3, you know, and you always see all the new stuff, and I'm like, oh, look, I see, wait a minute, that guy has kitty cat paws on. I wonder what that is, you know? And I go over and we talk. And, oh, yeah, the new game that's going to have cats. I mean, oh, that's nice. And I go to record this game, and I'm thinking, you know, kitty cats, cute little Mario, meow, cute little princess, meow, you know? And so I would do a take like that. We'd go back to Japan. Japan would send back the feedback. Very nice, little bit more aggressive. I'd say, meow. Oh, very nice. Little bit more aggressive. Meow. Oh, very nice. Little bit more. And then until I finally went, ah. So that's what stuck. Yeah.
At what age did you realize that you had such a skill for accents and improvisation and...
You know, it's funny, I never wanted to be an actor. That was never part of my equation. I was going to be a political theorist. And
because you like talking.
Yeah, I like talking. But I also like political theory, the idea of the nature of mankind, what is inside the human heart, determining how you live your life, how you vote, how you know, your politic of the world. Is mankind good, or is he a blank slate, or is he fundamentally evil and needs laws to control? You know, that this is a great subject. You can go on forever, you know, which is what I like to do. And then I couldn't get the professor I wanted for my thesis in senior year at Berkeley, so I said, I quit. And I thought I'd just quit for a while and go back, but then a friend of mine said, why don't you come and take an acting class? Don't sit at home. And I said, acting class? I could never stand in front of people. I'm way too shy. I was so shy. I could be sitting on this thing and you wouldn't know I was in this room. Really, I would not. But you know, he managed to get me to do it, and I had such a good time that I kept going. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And the best part for me was the failure to get, they were auditioning for Midsummer Night's Dream, and I wanted to be Oberon, king of the fairies, you know. I thought, this is the perfect part for me, you know. And I went and I did the audition. I watched everybody else audition. I called my acting coach friend. I said, I think I got this part, because I was really good. I watched everybody else. I was really good. He goes, well, Charles, don't count your chickens before they hatch. You know, I thought, no, but Les, I really saw. I was really. I went back to the casting board the next day, you know, and I look and I'm like, Charles Martinet, not Oberon. Okay, Charles Martinet, not one of the lovers. Charles Martinet doesn't get to change the furniture. So I, at that point, said, I'm going to be an actor.
Wow.
Failure is a great motive. I recommend failing to everybody, you know, because this is your journey. You know, life is like a video game. You're running through this whole thing, the obstructions that happen, the sadness, the humanity, everything that happens. And in the end, you find out that you're the hero of your own game, that this is all your journey, you know. Mario, the character personality of Mario is because I'm trying to be always conscious. when I was in my first little acting class, there was a guy with a stutter. You know, a stutter is I can't talk. You know, and I, you know, at some point I said, "Have you always had this stammer?" And he said, "No, I was at a show in Las Vegas for my 21st birthday, and you know, all my friends took me there, and we're sitting on this couch and ate our dinner, and all of a sudden the lights came up, and this comedian goes, 'Hey, it's this kid's birthday today. Come on, everybody, put them together. Stand up, kid.'" And he goes, I was so shocked, and I stood up, and he goes, "Oh, never mind. Sit down. Look at that ugly kid. That fat slob. Oh my God, the pimply face." And he said he kept making fun of me, and making fun of me, and making fun, and every time the audience laughed bigger and bigger, and I felt smaller and smaller. So from that moment, I determined never would I ever make a joke at somebody else's expense. No racial comedy, no religious comedy, no victim of comedy. And that to me, when I think about a perfect character, a perfect human being, the ideal masculine character for me, because I'm a guy, is someone that is respectful, honest, full of integrity, loyal, truthful, you know, and respects everybody, no matter what their age is, no matter who they are. It just doesn't matter, because we're all exactly the same human being. There is no such thing as a race versus another race. There's a quantity of pigment in your skin, you know, but we still live in a world where the challenge is there. So I tried to create a character that would be always grace, always full of grace. And then everybody else is a little bit different, you know. Luigi's a little bit scared, and, you know, the bad guys, they're not bad guys that do overt outward punishment. They always think they're getting away with it, but it always comes back. You know, Wario sits on the golden throne and is the master of the universe, except it's a toilet.
Yeah.
You know, that the joy of that sort of silly comedy that falls back on people, and the characters that are evil are just naughty. You know, as we all are, you know. It's my nod to humanity.
Right, I like this a lot. We are going to let you guys ask some questions.
Yes.
You know, Charles along. If you got questions,
Yes, otherwise I'll go on forever, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. I think I've seen you 3 times now, and it's always a joy to watch you because you do your job or
Thank
what you
you.
do with such joy. And I've seen you're always so gracious to fans.
Thank you.
And I just heard your story about this person who felt very small. But I was wondering, was that something always inside you that you wanted to bring joy to people, or
Yes.
did that?
You know, when I was a child, we would watch the Jackie Gleason show. And there was a character on there, the bartender or something, goes, "Hiya, Joe. How are you, Mr. Donaghy?" And I would do that, and my mother would laugh. And then my mother would dress up as the Wicked Witch of the West and come and try to get me. You know, we'd play hide and seek. So I would go straight for the linen cabinet, same time, every time. And she would go along going, "I'll get you. I wonder where that little boy is." And I would just send giggles through my body till she could, of course, hear me laughing inside the thing. So there was that sense of, like, if you make your mom laugh, you know, but I never thought about acting because I really was so shy. And I'm a very quiet, private person, you know. I spend nights with my spouse, and we just don't go out for hours and days because it's like, well, let's just be quiet. Oh, look, the view, you know? So yeah, just everything comes as a surprise like that for me.
That's lovely.
I think I answered that a little bit. Hi.
Hello, good morning. Mr. Martinet, great honor to see you in person. My children here, they are growing up on your voice, so they're all big fans.
Thank
My
you so
question
much.
is actually after you have scored this assignment or got this assignment, and moreover when you became famous with it, how exclusive it become in your professional career? Did you have chance to do something else, or then it was fully?
Thank you. That's a lovely question. Did I have a chance to do other things? Yes, but I made a decision because the Mario gig was a one-off, they call it. It was meant to be done one time, but I had so much fun, and there was no game with voices in it, that I decided this was gonna be my job for life. And so I geared myself to get them to use me again, and they did, and then again, and then again. Then they made a portable system, and they used me again and again and again. And then all of a sudden, "Hey, Mr. Miyamoto wants you to play Mario in a video game." Yahoo! That was the arrival place, but it was very intentional. And so what I did is I also made the choice not to do violent games, to try to live to the image of the character that I was creating. So I pushed aside the work, and my agent, no, he doesn't do that, no, he doesn't do that, no, he doesn't do that. It was a conscious choice, just to be pure and clean and true to the character in my personal life as well as my, And there's one video of me which I did actually after I got the Mario job, where I'm in an anime, and I start saying a bad thing, and I went, oh, it lives forever. This is the thing about for you young people out there. Everything you do on the internet or everything you do is there forever. So step back a bit, take a deep breath, and think, do I want my grandchildren to see this? Do I want my mom to see this? Take that moment, because it really is, it's quite shocking. And also remember, it's not true what you see on the internet, that social media is not telling you the truth. They're telling you what they think you want to hear, and will indulge you over and over and over again. The best thing you can do is turn it off and be with the people that you love, because really, one thing I will say, I don't have much wisdom in my little mind, but life is short. I'm quite tall, but life is short, and it happens so fast. You want to be having as much fun, as much joy, and it's what I wish for every young person and every person ever, is I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I get to do what I love to do in life, and I do it, and I come around the world thanks to your gracious appreciation for what I do, and it gives me a continued joyful life every day. I wish that for everyone, whether it's driving a truck or painting houses or being an artist or a voice talent. Find out what you love to do and follow your heart. It's a long, beautiful journey that you may never understand. I still don't understand, but this was told to me by a beautiful crone when I was confused and frustrated. Should I move to Los Angeles? Should I pursue more theater? Should I do, what should I do? And she said, well, dear, follow your heart. And I thought, yeah, right, follow my heart. Well, I can tell you, my heart, no, that's the confusion, that voice inside you that you just can't figure out what you're supposed to do. But if you take the time to love yourself enough to connect with yourself, you set yourself on the right journey. And the right journey is what brings you joy and love and happiness and fun and a sense of, if it's belonging, if it's a sense of just being comfortable and happy. That's what I wish for everyone. Always.
Beautiful. And now if you can repeat that word for word in Mario's voice.
Yeah.
We got a question down here.
Oh, sure, hi.
Hi, my name is Vanessa, and
Vanessa.
I like to ask you to say a shout out because one of my little cousins cannot come because he is in hospital. His appendix ruptured and he is 7 years old, and he really wanted to see you. And that is why I ask if you can tell him that I hope he gets better in the Mario voice.
Sure.
Because we have
This one there, what's his name?
Maki.
Maki? Hello, Super Maki. It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! You the superstar. #1. Hope you feel better soon.
Thank you very much. And
Sure.
I have one more question.
Sure.
What do you think about that Hollywood makes movies about everything? And some of the movies are not so good, and some of the movies are, it's like
Who's this? Who's this? Who's making the movies?
Yeah, the Super Mario movies. Have
I don't have an opinion of that. I just, as I was saying to the Duchess just the other day, to me, it's not my domain. I bring my heart, my soul to what is in front of me and is my gift. And that's what I try to do. Beyond that, I have no control.
Perfect ethos.
Good answer.
Perfect. Beck, how are we doing
But it
for
is
time?
lovely. No.
Time for maybe one or two
Okay,
more.
sure.
If you got any questions, get your hand up. We'll get the microphone to you. Yep. If you want to, and then we'll get behind. Yep. Perfect.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, I want to thank you for coming to our little country to meet us in person.
Thank you.
You're a big inspiration, a legend,
Thank
who I
you.
think everyone admires a lot. And my question is, did you know when you were doing Mario that you'll become so famous?
No, that's a lovely question. I had no idea. I was just having fun, you know. But my thing is, you know, go out and try for everything. Never say no. Always say yes. Try things. And I wanted to do Mario because I love this character. And I decided, you know, that I wanted to have the impact. So I was recording Mario Teaches Typing, you know. And the character would say, the script that I got said, you know, oh, you failed. You have to go back to the beginning and try again. And this time you must be much better. And I went, do you mind if I change that? Because I don't want to tell a child that they failed and then no, and they're bad. And then, oh, sure, and I'll go, sure, go ahead. I said, that was great, but I know you can do even better. Let's go again. Yippee! You know, and that was the attitude that stuck in my heart, is always yes, always positive reinforcement, always loving and caring, you know, because we're all just human beings. And we're so, our worst critic is ourself. To ourselves, you know, the judgment that we pass on ourselves, the criticism, you know, just to forgive yourself, to free yourself from that oppressive voice by becoming your own best friend is the best gift you can give yourself. You know, stay as the child is. You know, babies love themselves. They love their world. It's an exploration. You know, but when they hear no, 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 no too much, they start, okay, no, no, no. Okay, my anticipation is no, so I'm no. And then that becomes your inner voice, and then that's what you do to yourself. So you have to train yourself to go, yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, okay, I'll try it. I'm scared, but I'll try it. You know, I am much more Luigi than I am Mario. You know, my ideal is Mario, but I am a high anxiety, high stress, nervous person, you know. I get, oh my gosh, is that a splinter? I wonder if I have brain cancer. Oh, I must be dying. Oh, I don't want to go to the hospital now. You know, I mean, my sense of drama is ridiculous. But after 69 years, I start to laugh a little bit at myself and go, okay, this is anxiety. Oh, look, a flower, you know. So I don't know if I answered your question, but thank you for that.
I love that.
That was great,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we're all Luigi's aiming to be Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that Luigi always finds the courage. He's trepidatious, terrified, but always finds the courage in the end,
Yeah.
out of love. So find the courage out of love for yourself, to support yourself, to love yourself, to give to yourself the gift of joy and happiness. Because you deserve it. You don't have to do anything to earn it. It's yours.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentleman has a
Okay.
microphone over. Yep, just behind you. Yep.
Hello.
Have you ever played a Mario game?
Yes, I play a lot of Mario games, and I can always find out the princess is not in this castle.
What is your absolute favorite Mario game that you have played?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, it's a group of them. You know, it's Sunshine is possibly my favorite, but only because it holds with certain memories of the era, the time, the studio, the recording, the invention. 64 for those very similar rooms. I'd done Mario in real time for 5 years, and then they said, you know, Mr. Miyamoto wants you to do it, and then, you know, yippee! So I brought everything to that session, you know, and then inventing things like spaghetti, ravioli, you know, that was just fun. But 3D World was great fun. For playing, I think Double Dash was to me.
Yes, GameCube.
You know, and the babies, when the babies lose, they go, To me, it's like, oh, I like that, you know. So it's a great. And Super Mario Bros. Wii, you know, remember that that was music done by a woman in Mr. Koji Kondo's studio, which I'm like, yay, you know. Yay! So anything with the joy and the playfulness and the fun just sticks with me forever. I had Galaxy. I was in an interview once. I think I was in Sweden, and I hadn't played it yet. And they said, "Well, so we hear that you play Mario games. Here, play this." You know. And I was like getting through level 1, but you know, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is live. If I fail this, it's going to be terrible." And I survived. I made it. And they said, "Oh, Yompanimini, I guess you do, you know. I better yacht that down in my urinal, you know." It's just like that. I was suddenly certifiable.
I think a wise person once said on this stage that to fail would be a good thing. So, yeah. Can't remember who it was, but a very wise...
But you can't help but go, "Oh, thank goodness I survived."
Yeah.
Does everybody know what this building is and was? This is where the royal family kept some horses. Not this one, but that next one, with the lights in there, so the horses would have natural light.
Really?
How about that? So when you're the royal family, you can keep your horses right there when we're not doing a show.
I left my horse at home because I didn't think there'd be anywhere for it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Now you got 2 empty obs of coconuts.
Exactly, you know. Becca, we got time for one more?
Yes.
It'd have to be very quick.
Does anyone have? He's had
pretty good.
So I'll use out mine back.
Oh yeah. Whoop. Hello. Hi.
Hi, hello, Mr. Martinet. Thank you for all your work all these years.
Oh, it's such a pleasure.
I have a follow-up question on the other question of that you play the games yourself. Is it difficult for you to disassociate yourself from the characters that you voice?
You know, when I play the games, I do the character voices. I'm not going, I just all the time, you know, and that's what I say the most. You know, because you know, or wah. That's what, you know. This was the great thing about Sunshine. You know, every time you climb something and you fall, there's that wah. This was the sound I heard the most. Because, you know, you go up that crane and you're walking along and you have to you can't miss by a single miniature mini step and wah! So I'm falling off that way 7,000 times every time I got there. And then you finally you go, "Oh, I'm doing it. And then the crane turns around and you're going in your brain, you have to switch your brain off. I mean, I fell off so many times, but that was great because that taught me I'm no good at these games. I will always find out where the princess is not.
Yeah.
But I get to watch other people master the games, and it's just amazing. And they're younger and younger, and it's incredible. These speed runnings. Have you guys watched speed running? I mean.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Super Mario Maker, the really tough levels.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is what my level at Super Mario Maker. I was actually in the UK when the game launched, and we went to this nightclub where like 40 real professional Mario game players were, and they had to make a level that they could actually beat, but then hand over the control and see who else could beat that level. And this one guy made a level that the controller went to everybody in that room. Nobody could even get past one of the things, and then he did it, and it was so incredible. So my version of a level is I fill out all the blanks, put in gold coins in every single square, and the little boing, 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 and then build a walkway up to the top of the wall so that you just walk straight onto the pole. So you can't, just like life, you can't lose. You can't lose.
Oh, Charles, I'm very, very upset that we have to let you go because this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
But we're going to let you back to the convention.
And I'll go back to my table. We'll do photographs and autographs and things like that over there. And you can just say hi if you want. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles Martinet. Woohoo! Beck's just running. We normally get a little photo with all our guests and the audience.